So we're going to do a quick video on how to build a British recycled plastic raised bed kit, and the only tools you're going to need are something to tighten the nuts. I'm going to use an adjustable spanner. You could use the correct size of spanner or a socket set, and a screwdriver. I'm going to use a manual one because we've no power out here, but you can use an electric one, that's fine. You'll need to have a Phillips head or a cross-shaped head on the end. We recommend that you build it with at least 2 people because the pieces are quite heavy and it helps to hold pieces together. But if you're doing it by yourself, I'd recommend you get a couple of good clamps to hold pieces in place. First things first, let's lay out the panels on the ground. So we have the panels laid out on the ground. I'm just going to go over quickly how you tell the difference and where each panel should go. So if your panel, if you look at it and it has holes drilled directly through at 90 degrees to the panel on the posts, and the posts at the end like that, this is an end panel. That's how we identify that one. It should be the same on both ends. And if your panel has an 80mm gap between the end and the square post, this is the corner that will butt up against that end panel. It's to leave enough space for the panel to slot in, and then the bolt will go through these holes. The other end of this panel is butted up to the end, but the holes are drilled in this orientation to connect it to the next panel. This will be the same for both ends, and if you have an extra panel in between to make a longer edge, that is for beds over 2 meters long, that panel would have just this style of post at both ends. That's how you tell the difference. Let's connect them together. So if your panels are very tall, you might like to start by putting in one corner because it then gives you a vertical surface to bolt everything else to. If you have smaller panels like these, and they're less heavy obviously, you could start by connecting the long sides together and then fixing them to the corner as you go. So my panels are all in place, the bolts are all in and tightened, and the last thing to do is just put my cross member in to make sure it has good rigidity at all the connection points. And I'm going to use a manual screwdriver. I recommend an electric one, it's a lot easier.